you a more light talk about ethics and ethical behavior in general in research, because I try to understand your scientific project, and for me, I'm a marine biologist, so far away from your field. So I'm not a mathematician, but I'm an ethics expert for the European Commission, meaning that I evaluate different types of projects. So I wanted to share with you several thoughts. So just about ethics, what is it? It's about values, it's about moral. In the 18th century, Kant was defining the way how you behave is your choice. So it's really what you want to do, to conduct in your life. And what are these main principles in ethics? We talk about the respect for freedom, for dignity, for equality and solidarity, for citizen rights and justice. And you have many examples at the United Nations level or at the European level. So it's interesting is, so you have the basis of ethics based on philosophical thoughts. But in 1979, this German philosopher was really interested about innovation. It was about satellites, and he was just saying, okay, what is important in any innovation that we provide is to really ensure that the effect of this innovation and the way how it will be used will not affect and will not interact on the decision and do not impact the autonomy, the dignity, the integrity, and the vulnerability of the future humanity. And this was really in the context of the climate change challenges. So it's interesting, he was talking about the ethics of the future, and this was in 1979, and this principle of responsibility. And this was really important because afterwards it has been integrated into the Sustainable Development Goals concept, about the different concepts also in the marine sciences. So this responsibility, it's also your duty. So what you need to ensure is to be reliable, ensuring the quality of your research that reflect the design, methodology, analysis, and use of resources, even though you are using a paper with the pen to design a question, but still, it's about honesty. Honesty when you report, when you communicate. Do not try to always respect the consistency of your research activities. Respect for colleagues, of course, but also if you're interacting with some other stakeholders, I don't know, politicians or students, or I don't know who can be involved in your research, be really respectful. And the accountability is very important, is to take the responsibility of what you do, because at some point it will have an impact on the research activities that will derive from your own research. So you have many different links and documents. The Montreal Statement on Research Integrity in Cross-Boundary Research, the European Code of Conduct for Research Integrity. You can click on the image and you will have the document. The Singapore Statement on Research Integrity, the Trust Code. So these are always, and this comes again to the same principles: honesty, accountability, professional courtesy and fairness, and good stewardship. So this is, I hope this is already your value. And the idea is, when you're a young scientist, is to provide the best knowledge, develop trusting relationship, be honest and fair, optimize, share, respect cultural diversity, and maybe not in your case, but it's about respect animal welfare, protect the environment, and build capacity for low-income countries. So in 2013, the European Commission came out with the concept, which is the RRI, for Responsible Research Innovation. And this was important because at some point, the scientists making some fundamental research were like in their ivory tower. We were saying this several years ago, meaning that the scientists and their research activities are just far away from the social needs and social questions. So there was this need to put this research really into the societal challenges. So they came out with this concept to ensure that all the research and the innovation are conducted in a socially responsible manner in order to increase the interaction between the scientists and the society, to build trust towards scientific results. I don't know if you remember during the COVID, the society was not really trusting scientific input because there was so many different discourse. So you see, it's important to demonstrate that the society can trust you because your pay will be, if you work for academia, will be paid by their taxes. You need to contribute, and the idea is to really to try to answer and to contribute to complex societal challenges and to enhance the societal value of research and innovation. The main points, the main principles was ethics, inclusiveness in order to bring everyone around the table, anticipation and reflection, and governance. And the idea was really for the Commission to anticipate and assess the potential implication and societal expectations. So your research, how do you fit into the society, and to foster the design of inclusive, sustainable, and socially desirable results and solutions. And they came out with 6 dimensions. It's about governance, policy consideration, ethics, we have seen this before, open science, gender issues, including gender equality, science education, and public engagement. So if we go to society, so the idea is really to ensure that your research and innovation results answer some society's value and needs. So it's not easy to create a direct link, but I think your research may impact so many different fields of application. So the idea is to have a co-construction or co-design of some research activities. And I tried to see what is your research activities, what is this, the tensor. No way. So I tried to find few fields of application. I took this one, the diffusion magnetic resonance. So I will not give you a training on that. However, I understand that these techniques, this tool is really important for scientists for working on the brain, because you can obtain, this is a way to reveal novel characteristic of the underlying system in a non-invasive manner. So it means you can have access to the white matter in the brain, which is really important because you not only have the brain structure, but you have the connector. It means that you understand better different neuro disorder disease. And this is really important because you can predict some of those diseases based on the images you can get. You can pinpoint the epileptogenic zone with great precision, but also Alzheimer's disease and some others. And I think it's really important because at some point it comes to the society, because you have the BBC providing news and sharing news among the society about this amazing fact that the virtual reality can predict Alzheimer's disease. So you see there is at some point a link, even though it's a long one. So another example I took is this. I don't know if you remember this bridge in Italy, which just broke down due to corrosion. But I think the robustness, the elasticity, all the design of this bridge was, at some point, I think the tensor maybe long before that intervened. So this is why all what you do at some point will be integrated into other research activities that will lead and bring some, some new product or new services to the society. So the fundamental research is really important, and this is in your hand. And it really needs to be robust, accuracy, transparent. If you are using AI, which I'm not sure, or computational model, what is important is really to develop a trustworthy system. This is what we usually said for AI, in order to build a tool that is human-centric tool, and you have some guidelines provided by the European Commission, and you have also this AI Act, which is the first legislation on AI. So this might interest you. Even though you are not using AI, you have 7 principles guiding available in this document. So one is about human oversight. So it's about always having the human in the loop, the human on the loop, and the human in command, that always everything is under control. The technical robustness and safety, of course. The system you develop has to be reliable, accurate, reproducible. Privacy and data governance. If you integrate some personal data into your model or into your AI, you need to ensure that you respect the integrity of these data. Transparency is about explaining and being transparent about what you do in a way that people can understand. Diversity, non-discrimination, and fairness is about bias. Societal, environmental well-being, and accountability about the fact that the assessment of the algorithm, the data and design processes are solid. So there is also some interesting toolkits in order to identify maybe potentially a risk of the software or the AI system you are developing. So one is about estimating the impact. This algorithm may impact people or the property of people. The appropriate use is very important. So how do you collect and how do you anticipate the use of the data? The accountability again, in order to see how much involvement people have on the algorithm. So it's always about having, for one step, one responsibility, one person responsible in order to identify and to be able to come back if things needs to be improved. And also the bias. So you have many different guides. If this topic is of your interest, these are European guidelines beside this one, which is American. And you have also, I don't know if you are using generative AI, but there is also some recommendation from the European Commission. So it follows transparency, verification, respect for personal data, and responsibility. So you see it's always the same principles. But the idea is if you use generative AI, be careful if you do it, if you use it to write whatever, I don't know, a paper, you have to precise that you have been using generative AI. You have to pay attention to the privacy, confidentiality. If you are an evaluator one day and you want to report on the quality of the project and you put the project into ChatGPT, then everything is going to be completely shared. So be careful about, be conscientious about using this tool. Maybe will be on the cloud and be shared with everyone. So just try, like I said, do not use it for sensitive activities and try to use it as properly as possible. So let's talk about open science. During your research activities, you will be publishing some paper. So you have the European Commission is pushing very much on open science. It's an approach based on open cooperative work and systematic sharing of knowledge and tools as early and widely as possible in the process. Open access to publication, the management of data that should follow the FAIR principle, open access to this data as much as possible, but as close as necessary. Sometimes you cannot. Everything should be made clear in order to validate and reuse the results and the data, and the digital physical access of results must be also made available and open in order to validate conclusions that you have been. So the European Commission has also constructed an European open science cloud, but I'm not an expert in open access data. Usually we talk about the FAIR principles in data about findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. So I think you know this. These are the requirements from the European Commission regarding your papers. This is mandatory. You have to deposit. So either it has been, your manuscript has been accepted or it's a version of report. You need to deposit this in a trusted repository, even though it's not yet published. There is no embargo period authorized, and you can have some restriction using some specific license. And everything should be indicated in your research output in order for somebody else to be able to reproduce your experimentation. And the Commission provides some trusted repository for publication, for research data. I don't know if you are using those. But if you look for a repository, you can use the OpenAir. You have the website. At Inria, we are using HAL. It's a French national repository. All the publications are put it in HAL, so it's very, very good for us. And if you develop source code and software, they can be. We are hosting them in a software heritage together with a description on HAL. So this is available. This is open and can be reused. So this is our politics at Inria. Of course, if you work with personal data, contact the data protection officer at your organization. This is really important. What do we call sensitive data? We talk about genetic, biometric data, health data, philosophical, religious, union membership, sex life or sexual orientation, and political opinion, racial or ethnic origin. So these are all sensitive data, and you need to be careful if you manage or you use this type of data. You really need to find the data protection officer in your organization. I would encourage you also to participate to some science festival, to some programs or to associations who are giving some nice demonstration of what is research to the society. It can be to kids, or it can be to higher people. So you have many in your country and in your city. There is probably many opportunities for you to participate. These are the example we have in Nice. We have the Fête de la Science, the Science Festival. We have also the World AI-CAN Festival. Here we talk to professionals, but they are not the same people as we talk to usually. So this is really, really fun. We have also an educational program. It's at the national level. It's called CHIEFS. It's one scientist going to a school in order to explain and to encourage the kids, the teenager to come to your research, to mathematics, also to encourage girls to explain that mathematics is also for you. And maybe this is something, it's an initiative from the European Commission, the European Researchers Night. So there is probably one in your city, so you can join and try to, it will be challenging for you, I think, to explain what is your research activities, because it's pure math, so it's, but it's interesting. And you have also now in your program, it's researchers at school. So it means the same principle. You can go to a school, you can give a talk, explain what you do, what is your environment, what is your question, how do you answer this, what kind of studies did you need, a bachelor, a master degree, a PhD, an engineer degree, whatever. Just explain in order to give the desire for the teenagers, but to say, oh yeah, that's cool, I would like to do this, I have the capacity to understand all this mathematical model, I would like to contribute, and try to push as much as possible the girls. I don't know also if you are using social media, but the communication on social media can present a risk for democracy. We have a fantastic demonstration right now. We really need to install trust. So the flow of information, the accuracy, the credibility, the complexity, the effectiveness, all this type of principles are very important when you communicate on social media because it's blocked. Because you know it's a tool for manipulation, so it can be just misinformation. Misinformation is just the fact that you put a message on social media which is not very, you know, it's a little bit vague, and then people will take it, transform it, and just transform your message, your initial message. So this is misinformation. It happens, but you have the disinformation, and you know that it's really made in purpose of manipulating the opinion of people. So be careful, because you never know who is reading your message. You can never know the culture, the situation, the people. If he's someone very sensitive, is someone who can afford to receive some news. So, and you never know what will be the impact on the society. You know, if you create, I don't think you will, but just to push to make you conscientious about this, it's very important. And you know, we have the winner of this game. Okay, just to finalize, let's talk about gender. So, but you can see, not many girls in this room, so it's not your fault. You are just starting your PhD, but it's really important because yeah, we have one, but there are many ways for you during your PhD to try to change this. So first, maybe if you have to organize a workshop, a seminar during your PhD, maybe always think in your speakers, the list of speakers, to include women, girls. Try to organize events, try also to take action against violence, of course. Try to remove gender bias and stereotype when you talk. And if you go to a school to give motivation, to motivate the teenager to join, just really push on the fact that you have girls in your community and they are performing very well. So just push and just say this is not a job mainly dedicated or mainly for men. And I think you have different kind of action that you can take at your level in order to make things changing. Yeah. I work on the medical field, on the digital twin of medical field, and in this field, which are mainly populated with mathematicians and engineers, there was not that many girls at the beginning, but after 4 years, we can see more and more girls coming, young girls, PhD engineers. So this is fantastic. So if we were able to do it, you can do it. So it's also a little bit of your contribution. To finish, I would like to talk about this new green charter from the Marie Curie Action. So it's for the individual fellowship. So after a PhD for a postdoc, and they have each fellow has to sign this green charter. So the idea is also to take into consideration the environment where you work and how you can also improve. So either by your research activities or by some different actions, just you are invited to consider to reduce, reuse, recycle, to promote the green purchasing. Try also to be efficient. If you have one event organized somewhere, try to stay maybe one more day in order to meet people. Just try to combine different events like a workshop or training activities. Ensure the sustainability of a project. Use low emission forms of transport. Teleconferencing as much as you can. Also, it's also important to meet in person. This is the best way to create a group. It's really to meet and to, I don't know if it was nice, the restaurant on Tuesday. So I think this is the way to create real links. You are sleeping, huh? You can, yeah, so just these are example. I don't want to be too pushy. You will have access to the slides, so you are very welcome to go and have a look if you are very interested in this topic. So that's about it. I wanted to talk with you because I cannot give you some philosophical recommendation on the use of tensor in the answering. There, no way. So this is what I could share with you, and I hope it was at least interesting and it opened a bit your mind. I was fast. No?
Are there questions?
No worries.
I have one question.
Ah.
So you mentioned the impact of the research. So in what we do, we don't see really what could be the impact.
I know,
How
but because if I well understood, your mathematics, your equations at some point will validate or will reinforce the software. Will be not you directly, but what you produce in order, for example, to improve or to be able to have the best diffusion MRI available at some point. So it means you are in an engrenage and it's like a cascade. So this was an illustration. Huh? So I hope you understood. So now you don't see.
Maybe it's
too
I don't
far.
know, I take the example of the cancer. Maybe we are searching for good methods to cancer decomposition, but this can be used in a good way or maybe in a bad way.
And there is no way for you to restrict or to, if you imagine the misuse at the end of this cascade, there is no way for you. Yeah. If at some point this appears to be obvious, that, oh, if I, with this type, it's really difficult because I'm not familiar with your equations, but maybe if you anticipate some potential risk of misuse that is huge, it's like 90% risk of use this to do this, if you can, by modifying, I don't know, try to think, and because ethics can be also applied if it's difficult in your case, but in the AI system, if you identify the potential misuse afterwards, maybe you can change a little bit the way how you develop your code in order, because you have thought about it. But I'm not saying it's easy for you, but, or maybe it can go, so when you are only sharing equations, it's open access. So if you publish, I don't know, can you have one paragraph or one sentence about this has been, I don't know, has been designed for a good purpose and not for, but yeah, it's too far. I don't know. I'm really not familiar with your topic, so it's difficult for me to. Do you foresee a misuse at the end of the case? I mean, you have an example coming in mind? Not really. I don't know. It's maybe it's an exercise for us to do at home. I lost everyone.
We have examples of applications of techniques, but they are usually for good reasons.
Yeah.
Actually, the orientation of the fibers, the sources.
Yeah. But we always, whatever we want to produce as a researcher or even an innovator, we want the service of the project to be used by the society, be nice and good and for the good of the society. You have a very few percentage of people who just do it for money. But you know the problem.
But but this is something which comes after.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
When you transfer, it's a different job.
Yeah, it is. And I cannot. There was you want to say something?
No, I want to ask. I was wondering, what is the misuse?
The misuse is you produce something, a product or a service, and you do it in a proper, for a specific purpose, and it's used for one specific, for the societal.
For instance, it can be used in military.
Yeah, so misuse is when you try to use part of this research activities or the product to transform either, so not necessarily military, but for terrorism or for this type of activities.
I mean, it's the same tools, but
The same
like militaries and
So
whatever
military,
you
yeah,
decide.
yeah. It's about the way how you decide to use what you have in your hand. So of course you are far away from this, but I think it's not bad anyway. I think it's, yeah, it's good to think about, even though you are doing fundamental research, you have at some point some responsibility. Yeah. So and social media, you were laughing, so you have something to share with us. I'll not go through this now. Yeah, so
There
you
was a discussion about social media for tenors. Because tenors has an account in LinkedIn, and I see, so it's visible as a network in LinkedIn, and I see
Yeah.
yeah, but we
I'm not using
were well, this was a debate.
Yeah.
And we are like removing the participation.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe you as a person have also some are active in some network. Yes. It's about the visibility of what we do.
the project. Yeah. I never used very much Twitters, and when it became X, I already stopped using it because it's more the very direct. I dislike it. I prefer LinkedIn for what I want to promote, the way I want to promote. The fact that Twitter is very short and very, I don't know. And on LinkedIn, you don't have remarks. I mean, it's a network of professionals. So if you want to share your work with other professionals, it's very easy. But this is your own decision. Because on the other hand, some people say if you quit X, it means that you will leave all the space for these other people. Yeah. So it's, in fact, it's not gray, black or white. It's you always, and ethics is always a case by case study. So
But for I think for PhD students, candidates, it's important that you have your web page. You are visible on the net. You have a web page presenting who you are, what you have done, what your publication, and so on. So if this doesn't exist yet, think of creating it at some point.
and also when you have a paper accepted or available, you can announce. It's a good way to share.
So the policy we try to follow in tenor is that we put all paper in AL. So the author version of the paper also is there. So after it is accepted, you can see the author version there for most of the journals where we are publishing.
It's very important because when you have to report to the European Commission, you have so Lynn will have to upload or you will have to upload all the papers. And if you do not have this specific open access document, they will come back to you and they will oblige you. So better to do it right from the beginning. So it's it's important. And well, I think it's your philosophy to share as much as possible, because I think it's in your culture, so it's not complicated for you, I guess. But really think about that, and so. And for equation, I have no idea if you have some.
For database, so there is
So-
you mentioned some.
Yeah, so my advice, because I took the slides from my colleagues. Okay, this was. So here, if you can look for a repository, you go on this website and you look at the good database or whatever you want to access and see. This is quite recent, so things are to be really well implemented, but this is important.
These are like archives, so you put your database, it's archived there, and you cannot extend it and modify it.
I do not publish right now, so I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, you can go and explore and see how it works.
Okay. Anything from the young ones?
Okay. And I was doing still sharing also code for software. She said that can react to put on particularly repository, but how it works that I put my software in which sense.
I never used it, so for this, have you used it before the but you can?
Software heritage.
Yeah, Heritage.
So you put a compressed version of your code. It's like a publication. You get an ID, a tag, and then you can refer it to.
It's not like most of the code is shared with software on the site where like GitHub or something like this one. And I mean, even if you share it at some moment, you can continue to work on it. In some way, on that base, you put your code and it's fixed. You cannot.
It's fixed. So it's
no, that's the idea. Because especially if you make a paper and you get some results, okay. Then the next day you change your code, then the results don't work anymore. So you need to put the code that you use for the paper accompanied by this filter. And they also they make sure that it will be there for hundreds of millions or thousands of years. So the paper and your results will always be reproducible. This goes to the reproducible research idea.
So there's no version control like a paper.
On this one, no, it's more like an. I mean, it's like when you first start using it out, it's like when you do, okay, I have this repository, now I clone the repository, and this is the second version, and it's like something is one.
So the node of the instance can be crushed. So you have done your eye or application, then every time you update, it points you to the last version. So if you have like your code and you want to update it, we use that CLI and the switch function by class. We have Union and it's by 7, so which is the creator of the internet. So there's no practice from this data. For GitHub, for instance, by companies, you list at some point you have your repository, so there's no.
No, actually, this does a mirror of the GitHub. So the software character, so it takes a snapshot of the view of the GitHub and it's it forever. Which tool you mentioned?
That is the last one.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I also use this. Like, make an account and they give you like 10 gigabytes of storage, and you just some things there. And
And it's not too difficult. So software I catch is not too difficult.
No, I mean, my question was is computer science, particularly on IA. Most of the code, I mean, there is a link in GitHub page.
Yeah, there always.
Because of the yes, but I mean, it's the easiest thing to share.
Yeah, but so for publication, you also think like you can have both, right? You can have your own private Twitter, or like multiple ones. You can share those with your collaborators. And then when you publish something, and you want to share the code for it, you can take a selfie.
Also, I think that is a recommendation. I think it's a little directly from your code. You can, no, I mean, it's
So it's like you can get that you check out those in the other hash, like having one of these checkouts. So, just I mean, I think
So,
those
I mean,
so I like.
no, yeah, that's one question. I think that maybe one for sharing the code, we can keep your repository right out of GitHub. So in this way, you avoid that pilot using for training with the AI. And then, I mean, there is like snapshot of my code is on that repository, you find it. And for that.
All the colleagues I work with, because I do not use it, are using GitHub, and they have the general publication of a paper with the reference to GitHub. But, I've never thought about the updated version.
2 years ago, changed the policy for 1 minute. Only for that reason.
Okay, so perhaps it's time to go on. Thanks a lot.
Well,